A price point on something like this is probably going to be around $70,000. But for the average consumer, their home is built maybe in the 40s or 50s. That price point is going to be closer to $100,000.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode. We're doing something a little bit different this week. I got Joseph from Neo ADU and Neo Builders here with us. We're going to talk about the ADU. He's going to crash our site, do a little walkthrough, tell us where we fucked up and where we need to improve, because we definitely don't know what we're doing. Joseph was actually here on this project site before we demoed everything. He saw the house, did a little walkthrough, and our first goal was to put an ADU on this property and turn it into a rental. And we're going to talk about why that didn't work out. So stay tuned for more information on that. We'll talk about pricing, we'll talk about ADUs in California, the new law changes, and how Joseph has built a business around building the best ADUs in Southern California. Tell us a little bit about Neo ADU, Neo Builders, how you got started, and kind of your story.
Joseph, Neo Builders, and Neo ADU. So Neo Builders is a long time coming. I mean, my dad's a contractor, my brother's a contractor, my uncle's a contractor. Things were looking really nice for us. 2013, we were building new construction. 2018, we were building new construction. And kind of how I came into ADUs is a very special way. I lived in my brother's garage for 2 years. It was illegal between 2015 and 2018. And it was just drywall, unpermitted bathroom, a very basic kitchen. And I was living in there. And when ADUs started coming out in 2017, I was reading about it and I'm living in a garage. Like, wow, we should really build one. We built one on my brother's unit. It came out beautiful. I ended up living there and then renting it out later. We bought another house. We built an ADU. I lived in that ADU while renting out the main house. And it just kind of went from there. ADUs is something really special, especially for the single person that wants to live in a bigger home and own a home and they can rent out the main home. I think Neo Builders and Neo ADUs build really nice ADUs for different types of people, whether it's going to be for your family member to live in there or for rentals. I think ADUs has a place in every single lot. When we were talking about truce, we were looking for that specific spot. The original unit was 900 square feet with a 1-car garage, very close to the setback. So we couldn't really put the ADU in the garage. It would have been too small and we had no place to do an addition. And then in the back, we had a pool. So we were really wondering where we should build the ADU. I thought that it might have been a good idea to build the ADU where the current master bedroom is and kind of had a side entrance. We had the discussion of what would happen.
So he gave me the recommendations. Backfilling the pool was going to be too expensive. We're going to take value away from the home somewhere and add it somewhere else. So from the viewpoint of an investor, it just made sense for us to do this on this project. We were honestly approaching this when we put in our offer on this house. That was the idea. We're going to put an ADU in the back. We were going to put a junior ADU on the bottom with a 2-car garage and stack an ADU on top and build kind of like a triplex, which is something that you can do basically on any lot in California, regardless of your zoning, because of the new ADU laws that have come out. So Joseph has kind of built an expertise around that. You can go on his website. There's a lot of information on his website. There's a lot of blog posts. There's literally, the amount of information is enormous, and it's really hard to get all that information put together in a concise manner. And he's been able to do that and bring that to his customers. And he did that with us too. He kind of gave it down to, he's like, these are your options. You put it in the back, right in front of the pool. You don't do as big of an addition. That's how you make it work. Does it work for you on the numbers on the back end? That's something as an investor we had to look at. And when we looked at it, it didn't really work out. We ended up keeping in touch, and throughout the project, I've been calling him. If you guys remember from our demo video, I did include his Instagram in the description below, because he's the guy that recommended those demo guys to us. They've honestly been the one crew that's been the most easygoing and like on point, did their job and out of here. It's hard, like we said in the beginning of this project, building a construction site. Getting into construction, not being a contractor, you learn a lot and it's gonna cost you money. It just depends on what you have. If you have the time and energy, it's a full-time job to build a house. It's not as easy as, I'll call people and they'll come out and do the job. It's really not. And that's what Joe does. He could have done the whole build too, because like he said, they do new construction, they do everything. From what I understand, your brother kind of does more of the new construction stuff, and you do mainly the ADUs, the conversions, the new ADUs, right?
So I think Neo Builders as a whole is the umbrella company. We have the Neo ADU, Neo Insulation, and Neo Drywall. We're getting heavily invested into insulation and drywall right now. You know, getting rodents out of your attic, putting insulation into your attic, things of that sort. But again, Neo Builders builds new construction, bigger renovations. Neo ADU is kind of me, where I love the ADUs. I'm a big fan of ADUs. I still live in an ADU. And then as we grow, Neo will have a lot more branches, we hope.
So we've been talking about ADUs. I feel like some people don't know what ADU stands for and what ADU is. And then there's also a new construction ADU, and then there's conversion ADUs, right? So let's talk a little bit more about that for people that don't know.
Yeah, good question, Sam. ADU stands for Accessory Dwelling Units. I mean, they're starting all over the West Coast of America, and now they're all over, whether it's Miami, whether it's Chicago, whether it's the Northwest and the Midwest. But pretty much what an ADU is, it's an accessory to your home. You talk about new construction versus garage conversion. Pretty much you can take a single family home in California, add a secondary unit onto your property, and then have all the benefits of having a duplex. So whether it's renting it, whether it's living in it, whether it's
throwing your in-laws in it.
Throwing your in-laws in it. You can do a lot with it. I mean, I've seen it happen where, you know, you're on a corner street, you build an ADU, and then you get a permit to actually have a hair salon or a yoga studio in it. So it's something that's really, really strong, especially in California. We have a huge housing crisis. So we're gonna be able to have more people live in the homes and live in single family homes, and also privatize and let homeowners build to help the housing crisis. So I think ADUs are really something special. Garage conversion or conversions versus new construction. Again, I tell new construction homeowners to do it like this. If you have a really big lot, you can do a new construction. You know, whether that's 800 square feet, which most people can do, which all people can do, or 1,200 square feet, you'll need a bigger lot. But if you have a big lot, build new construction. If you don't, and you maybe have a garage that's detached in the back, maybe you have an alley in the back, or maybe you have a garage, a two-car garage in the front of the home, you wanna have a separate entrance. The garage conversion is something super simple, super easy to get permitted, and pretty affordable when you think about the per square footage. I think building ADUs and building in construction, I'm sure you know, it's very different in LA than San Diego, Sacramento, San Francisco. Building in Miami compared to building in LA is very different. So get your comps, understand what you're building, how you're building it, and what that's gonna do for your property and your family and your home.
I guess what you're saying is like every person has an individual goal set out. So you kind of figure out your goals. When you bring in someone like you could kind of say, okay, this is your goal. These are the ways to get to your goal. And this is what's possible with your property, with zoning codes. And so there's a lot of different things that go into it, but you know all that. And you gave us that guidance here, and that was able to help us dictate what we're doing with this property. Joseph, why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes a property a good candidate for an ADU? What's the main things that you look for that you go like, okay, this is a perfect candidate for an ADU? What are the steps, once you figure that out, what are the steps to getting the ADU built?
Sure, so I'll talk about California, and I'll mostly talk about LA and LA County. What I like to see in an ADU is, first of all, if there's a detached garage in the back, I'm in love with it. If it's detached, it's a garage, it's an easy conversion, it's very affordable. It gives the home and the lot two different spaces. So there's one person living in the main home and then one person living in the back in the garage in the ADU, which is really something special. If you have an alley and you have a detached garage, that's even better because the new tenants or the people living in the ADU can come from the alley, park, and then completely be separated from the main home. I also really like to see garages in the front. Garages in the front, it's a different candidate for an ADU because you're gonna have shared walls. You might have to put fire-rated walls between the garage and the home, but that's also a really nice area. The tenants or your in-laws don't have to come into your backyard, so it creates a different type of privacy, which means they'll park on the main street and they'll just walk into their home right away. Other things that I like to see are lot sizes over 8,000 square feet. Once you have 8,000 square feet and you might have a 2,000 square foot home or less, you can build a 1,200 square foot ADU, new construction. You can have a garage on top of that, making it 1,600 square feet in some zones. You can also have 2 floors. What I don't like to see for ADUs is when the garage is very butt up against the setback. So sometimes you'll see your garage have 3 feet of space, 4 feet of space, or 5 feet of space from your side, and sometimes it's 0, and it's really built on the property line. Even worse, we have a project right now. The wall of the garage is sitting on the neighbor's property line. Those things are really hard because we can't have windows and we have a lot of issues building on those. But in general, to answer your question, I like to see detached garages. I like to see alleys. I like to see big lots.
Let's talk about sizes of ADUs. So there's ADUs I've seen online that are like 280 square feet, which is like, to me, ridiculously small. And then I've seen ADUs that are, like you said, 1,600 square feet. What do you think is a sweet point? What is where it makes sense in the different aspects of it? Because I'm sure you can make a 380 square foot garage into a nice ADU. And then I'm sure a 1,600 square foot ADU is also nice.
Sure, so it's good questions. Again, ADUs come in different sizes. There's the tiny home movement for ADUs, and then there's the luxury bigger ADUs. Look, I like 400 square feet because that's what we work with a lot. The garages are usually 20 by 20. The real answer to Sam's question is, what does your family want? So do they want a studio? You know, do they want a 1 bedroom? Do they want a 2 bedroom, 1 bath? Do they want a 2 bedroom? If it's under 360 square feet, definitely studio. Over 360 square feet, you can do a 1 bedroom. Once you want to hit 2 bedroom, 1 bath, or maybe an office space, you really want 600 square feet. 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. The smallest I've done it is 720 square feet. I wish we had 750 square feet. But once you get to the bigger numbers, like 1,200 square feet, I mean, we're talking about another home. Most people in California, the average home is 1,200 square feet. So building 1,200 square feet ADU, now in some zones, you can use that garage and not hit the square footage, the RFA. So you can have 1,200 square feet and the garage. I mean, that's a new home. That's 1,600 square feet. So again, if you're gonna build those kind of things, just make sure that you have a big lot because you don't want to squeeze 2 real homes, 2 big homes on the same lot.
One of the interesting things that you said is an extra basically 30 square feet on 720 square feet would make a big difference for you. On a project like this where we're building just under 2,500 square feet, I could steal 30 square feet and it wouldn't change the aspect of the home at all. But from some of these ADUs, like 20, 30 square feet, 40 square feet makes a huge difference on the ADU. A lot of people are also using these ADUs to supplement their mortgages, right? So people will buy properties where they know they can convert the garage and maybe they're not willing to or not necessarily ready to dig into their monthly savings budget to pay for that mortgage, but they do it for the first couple of months and then they'll go from there to converting their garage into an ADU and renting it out. Rental prices in LA are really, really crazy. Where we are in North Hollywood right now, you cannot get a 1 bedroom, a decent 1 bedroom that's kind of newly renovated for maybe under $1,800. Being able to convert a garage into an ADU, that supplements about $300,000 of mortgage payment from your house that you don't have to pay out of your pocket. ADUs are great. I wish we had the room on this property to throw an ADU. If there was more room behind the pool, that would have been amazing because we'd pull a wall back there and it would just be a separate access. If we had an alleyway, that, like you said, it'd be even better. A lot of the larger properties I'm seeing developers do that on as well. They'll throw a pool house that is also an ADU that's basically up to the homeowner to do what they want with.
So I want to stop Sam right there. There's on those big projects that you see where the lot size is 8 to 10,000 square feet, the home is 4,000 square feet, they have a pool and they have a back house. That's a really good question. And as a homeowner, if you're buying that or if you're a developer that you want to build that, you have to make sure to know what you want. Not all of them are ADUs. In California, there's also something called ALQ, accessory living quarters. And again, the difference is very minuscule, but you can't have a full bathroom. So you can't have a shower in an ALQ. You can't have a full kitchen in an ALQ. And we should also talk about JADUs because it's kind of the same thing. So again, there's ADUs, there's JADUs, the ALQs. Whatever works for your property and for your home and for your family, you should be building that.
What are JADUs?
So JADUs is something newer. It came out in 2020. They're called Junior Accessory Dwelling Units. Every city has its own different laws, but in general, it has to be part of your main home. And I see a beautiful JADU right here.
In the master.
In the master. You can take, for example, this master and create its own space, its own entrance, and be able to rent that out by itself. It's almost house hacking, but fully permitted, and building and safety loves it. So again, every unit can have a main house and an ADU, but now every home can also have a JADU, potentially making every single family home a triplex.
So that was one of the interesting things that we were initially approaching when we saw that in 2020. Basically, to break it down in the most ideal situation, if you have a big enough lot and an alley in the back, you could build a 2,400 square foot house, which is a very nice, decent sized house. And in the back, you can put a 2-car garage. and a JADU next to it. On the second floor, you can build a 1,200 square foot ADU. So essentially, you'll have 499 square feet down here, which is a great size for a junior ADU, attached to the ADU on top, and you have their own garages. It's basically a perfect triplex. They have their own access in the back. The front house has its own privacy. Maybe his lot size goes from 8,500 to 6,000 square feet, which is still a decent lot size in California. I know some of you guys in the Midwest are gonna watch this and be like, 6,000 square feet for a lot, that's crazy. That's my driveway. But in LA, that's a decent size for a house. It's not the best, it's not the most ideal, but it's something that you can get by with and a lot of people would be happy with. So that is something that California has added. I don't know how long this is gonna be around for. That is something that definitely the lawmakers can change in the near future. What I tell people is do things while you can, right? That's why you've kind of had a rush right now, is people are trying to get in while they can, because it's one of those things when they go, like, if you hear it, it's too good to be true, it probably is. This is not too good to be true. There are requirements, there are limitations. You can't just go crazy and build like 10,000 square feet on a 5,000 square foot lot. You're allowed to do a lot with the space, and if you can do it now, do it now.
I'll tell you, if we're gonna talk about politics for ADUs, I don't know where the law is going. I know there's gonna be a vote in 2025 to talk about JADUs and ADUs, and there's a lot of people pro ADUs in California and Sacramento. There's a lot of people anti. But Senate Bill number 9 and Senate Bill number 10 are really, really important, because Sam is talking about turning a single family home into 3 units. But in September of 2021, Sacramento is going to be voting on the Senate bills. They're going to be allowing 6 units on a single family home. Even crazier, they're going to allow us to split lots, and they're going to allow 3 units on each lot. So split the initial lot, have a main home on both lots, have an ADU on both lots, and have a JADU on both lots, making a single family home a 6-plex. If you're a real developer and you want to be able to play the long-term game, be active, read, figure out what is going on with your building and safety and your zoning, and check out your upzoning areas, buy in the right locations, and then build when you're allowed to build. Don't wait, get permits and build right away.
We have a garage in the front. We were not planning on converting this into an ADU, but he's been upselling me all day, so we're gonna go check it out, and he's gonna tell us, he's gonna give a nice quote on how much it would cost to convert something like that, and you could use that to get a rough idea of how much it'll cost you. Now, everything is different. You can go crazy with the finishes, you can go more budget friendly. Just reach out to Neo ADU and have him come out and check out your project for specifics, but he's gonna give us some numbers right now so we can get a rough idea of where we're at.
Let's go check out the garage, come on. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to explain what to look for in a home and in a garage to build an ADU. We're gonna talk about some price points, but the key things to look at when looking at a garage to build an ADU. Come check it out. Okay, so the first thing that we want to look at when looking at a single family home is where's the garage. In this video, we'll talk about the garage being in the front and attached to the main home. Again, some things are going to be good for the audience and some people are not. So the first thing is the garage door. We always have to remove the garage door when building an ADU for multiple reasons. Structural reasons, mechanical reasons, soundproofing reasons, Title 24 reasons. We remove it and then we're gonna put the same exterior material as the outside. So that might be stucco and that might be hardy planks.
I'm gonna cut you off. Title 24, what is that?
What is Title 24?
Because you and me know, I learned, I didn't know it before, but you and me know, but I feel like a lot of viewers maybe don't know what Title 24 is.
Title 24 is the ordinance that California came out with that just explains how much power usage a home can have. So for example, how much gas can we use in the oven? How much lights, do we have to have LED lights or not? How many exterior lights can we have? So it's very important to be sustainable, and that's California's way of sustainability.
It dictates the windows you can buy, which is why our windows cost a lot more money in LA than they do in a lot of other parts of the country. Insulation, we have higher insulation requirements. There's a lot of things that go into Title 24. It's like, I think our Title 24 for this house was 60 pages long.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of information.
Yeah, you can get Title 24 from any mechanical engineer. Usually the calculations cost around $200 to $300. But again, for the bigger homes, it might cost even $600 to $700. But it's a must to have building and safety, look over and stamp your Title 24 pages. We'll talk about the garage. So right now we have a slab on grade. This is our existing foundation. Now you can tell, I'll show you guys, there's some footers and there's some stem walls, but right now we're looking at the slab on grade. Now, because we're gonna have a wall here instead of a garage, what we're gonna have to do is we're going to have to cut down, trench anywhere between 18 inches and 24 inches underground, creating a new footing to be able to put new studs, new framing, potentially new windows, and a door in the front. Look, if you have a slab on grade on your garage, which you probably do, you might have raised foundation, and in which case that's gonna change.
Let me ask you a question here. Since we have about 9-foot ceilings here, can we do a bump up here and therefore we don't have to dig in or cut up the concrete?
Yes and no. If that's the reason that they want to do it, I would suggest not to and just trench into the concrete. But what ends up happening is after you trench into the concrete, the level is not going to be the same. In these new constructions, the level here looks really, really nice. Your foundation guys did really well. In older homes, the garage might have a crack in the middle of the slab. And in which case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna trench the concrete for the plumbing. And then later, after we're done with rough plumbing and underground plumbing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour a new concrete slab, probably 2 to 3 inches, depending on the different cracks and how much we actually trenched into our concrete. Hey guys, so we talked about the exterior of the home and the ADU and what to look for. Now let's talk about the interior. I'm gonna show you a couple of things like the stem wall, and your framing should be 16 inches on center. There's a lot of things that you want to look at. You want to look at the top of your roof. You want to look at the ceiling joists. You want to look at the bottom plates or the top plates. You want to look at if you have existing shear walls or you have 1960 shear walls. And you can see all this stuff in our YouTube video as well. I won't go into too much detail. I do want to go into detail about designing the place. Let's talk about 400 square foot ADUs, 360 square foot ADUs, and kind of the difference. When you have a 400 square foot ADU, you have a lot of space to play with, comparatively. It's still going to be a tiny home. But the first thing that you should look at while designing your ADU is where does the bathroom go? The bathroom is going to be one of the most important spots. I like bathrooms, full bathrooms, to be around 40 square feet, which is usually 5 feet by 8 feet. Sam, what sizes do you guys do?
On our project, we have our bathrooms 5 by 8, all the way up to, I think 6.5 by 9.5 is our largest bathroom. Our master is obviously a lot bigger than, I think it's like a 10 by 12, which is the size of like a small bedroom. But it's a master suite, a whole different story. But 8 by 5s are standard. They're great size. They're not too small. They're the perfect size to put in a tub, shower, and everything like that.
So 8 by 5 is the first thing that I want to look at. I want to put the bathroom kind of in the coldest place because windows and ADUs, because they're such small spaces, are really, really important. So we put the bathroom in the place where there can't be any windows. In this particular unit, I would do it on the southwest side. I would do it on the southwest side because both sides are actually facing the main home. And because both sides are facing the main home, we can't have any windows there anyway. So I would put the bathroom there. The second question is the kitchen. The kitchen, I would probably put either on this side or this side. So whether it be on the west side or on the south side, the reason for that is I want to put the kitchen near the bathroom because I want to put windows on the north side. Now I know everyone's gonna say in the comments that on north there's no sun, so it doesn't matter, but it's still really nice to have windows somewhere. And in this current area, we can't have any windows on the south or west side. So I'd probably put the kitchen right behind the cameraman. And then the next question is, how big is the kitchen going to be? Sam, how big is your kitchen in this house?
We got just under 30 linear feet of kitchen, plus a huge, I think it's like an 8 by 5, which is the size of a bathroom island.
Right, so in our units, we're gonna keep it much smaller. You know, he might have 30 linear feet with a huge island. We're gonna have anywhere between 12 and 15 linear feet for your kitchen. Again, that's gonna really depend on the existing site and the bathroom. Remember, we said the bathroom is gonna be 5 by 8. Now I can do 5 by 8 or I can do 8 by 5, depending on the situation. If you want a bigger kitchen and you have 20 feet for your ADU, if you have 20 linear feet in your ADU, you might have a 5-foot bathroom and then you might have a 15 linear foot kitchen. And a 15-foot linear kitchen is really nice. You can even maybe put in a washer dryer into that kitchen if it's small and stacked. The other option, if you wanted a smaller kitchen, you know, some people don't want huge kitchens. You might want to have 8 feet as your bathroom and then only 12 feet for your kitchen. And again, we can always put L's in our kitchens, so we can make that 12 feet into 15 feet, or we can make that 15 feet into 18 feet. You're really gonna have to choose. Do you want a bigger kitchen, a bigger living room, a bigger bedroom, or a bigger bathroom? You can really only have 2 because we're working in a square, so it's really important to choose that.
So right now we got about 12 linear feet of kitchen. We have the bathroom, we have a little laundry area, we have the bedroom set up. That's the plan for this if we're converting to an ADU. So what are you gonna charge on something like this where there isn't really much structural stuff to do because it is new construction? Convert this into an ADU or a junior ADU, what are you gonna charge on this type of project? Just to give viewers an idea. And before he shoots out any numbers, because I know people like numbers, don't hold him to it because prices fluctuate on materials, especially right now when we're filming this, everything is crazy. Also finishes. He builds stuff in North Hollywood, in Van Nuys, in Panorama City, but he also does stuff in Culver City and Beverly Hills, where the houses are much, much nicer, and they put in sunroofs, they put in skylights, they put in a bunch of crazy stuff, floating vanities, and that all adds a lot more expenses to the projects. But just to give you an idea of the price point you're at, hit me with the number. How much does it cost to convert this into an ADU?
This garage is really nice, but the reason it's really nice is because it's new construction. As you can tell behind me, there's shear walls everywhere. There's new footings, there's new foundation. A price point on something like this is probably gonna be around $70,000. But for the average consumer, their home is built maybe in the 40s or 50s, maybe in the 60s, their garage is detached. You know, that price point is gonna be closer to $100,000, maybe even a little bit more. I'll kind of give you the 3 steps for how I price out an ADU and how you should build an ADU. The first step is architectural plans. The second step is the construction, and the third step is the finishes. Let's go over each step really quick. The architectural plans, you know, might take 2 months depending on your municipality, depending on your building and safety. But what we have to do is we have to get an architect here, we have to design the floor plans, we have to get a mechanical engineer, a structural engineer, we have to get Title 24. We might be able to do Type 5 construction, but again, depends on the site. At the end of getting the plans, you're going to have to take it to the city and do the permit running. So, you know, how close are you to a fire department? You know, how close are you to your setbacks? Do you need a boundary survey? You know, did your architect miss anything? Did your structural engineer miss anything? So all of that is gonna take anywhere between 2 months and 3 months. Again, depending on your city, that could fluctuate. The second step is gonna be construction. I really, really wanna stress this out. If your existing site conditions is falling apart, your price is going to be a lot more money. If it's a standard conversion with the roof staying the same, you know, maybe your roof rafters look good, maybe your foundation looks good, you know, price is gonna go a lot cheaper. I would think anywhere between $280 and $350 a square foot is the right place to be at. But again, 380 square feet is almost new construction and the place is falling apart. And then the third step is finishes. So Neo Builders builds pretty nice units. But again, it's gonna be decided on your rental and your existing home. So if your existing home is not renovated, you might not want to pour in all the money into your ADU. But if you live in Culver City, Beverly Hills, you know, West LA, East LA, just depending on where you want. Renters want nicer rentals, in which case you might want to have nicer finishes. Some of the finishes that I look at are custom cabinets. Neo Builders always does custom cabinets in our ADUs. We do custom design, we do custom sizes, and we do custom color. So any color you want, whether it's blue, green, orange, I'll do any color you guys want, compared to some of our competitors that are doing just basic shaker white, you know, all 24 inches, all 18 inches, all 36 inches. They're getting it from maybe HD Supply, and then they're just plugging it in. I'm gonna build for your family. The second most expensive part of the ADU is the bathroom. Bathrooms can be really, really expensive, even if it's 8x5. So do you want to have glass as your frameless shower glass? Do you want to have tile floor ceiling? Do you want to have 150 square foot of tile, or do you want to have 300 square foot of tile? You know, do you want the whole place being tiled? What kind of vanities do you get? Again, there's vanities at $250. There's also vanities at $4,000. So all of these things are going to be really, really important. What kind of shower system do you get? Other than that, I mean, we're usually doing vinyl or laminate for the flooring. Our drywall is level 4, level 5, so that's going to be really nice. You know, lights, how many lights do you guys want? So all of these questions are going to be part of that proposal, and that's going to be the differentiation between $80,000 and $130,000, $140,000.
So let's take, in this scenario, $100,000 with nice finishes to convert this into an ADU. And I'm just gonna run you some quick numbers just so you can understand why this is so amazing. People look at $100,000, like $100,000. House prices, rentals in LA are crazy. We're in North Hollywood right now. It's a nice pocket in North Hollywood. This size 1 bedroom with not the best crazy finishes, but really nice finishes, I could easily get $1,800 a month. If I give Joseph $100,000 and in 6 months time, he gives me an ADU to rent out, I'm gonna rent out that ADU for $1,800. And if I pull that $100K out of my house equity, if I get a loan from my house for it, my monthly payment on that is gonna be roughly about $500. It's gonna be less than $500 because current interest rates are crazy low. Let's call it $500. For that $500, I'm gonna get $1,800 a month extra in income. That's $1,300 in my pocket that I could use to pay towards my mortgage. I don't know what your mortgage is, but I guarantee you $1,300 will do you great savings and will help you out in your monthly budgeting. It's just a give and take. You gotta look at the numbers, you gotta see where you're at. Places like Beverly Hills, you'll probably rent that for like $2,500, $3,000 for an ADU that size. So it's crazy, it's much crazier there. But depending on your area, what you can get for the rental, what you wanna do with your space. Unfortunately, Joseph, this right here, we're gonna leave up to the buyers to convert. So you don't have a job here, but we're gonna do a job in the future. I'm sure we're gonna build an ADU at some point in the future. This is not gonna be our last project. You guys follow along. You got any last takes, any last notes?
Oh, guys, I want to see a lot more ADUs being built. I educate people not because I want more jobs. Neo Builders is fully at capacity. I educate people because I want to see more ADUs. I want to see more housing. I want to see more units on single family homes. I really want to see new homeowners being able to buy properties that they want and maybe sharing that lot. I really want to see house hackers build more ADUs. I love ADUs. I want to see more of them. Guys, get educated.
Joseph started on humble beginnings. He used the ADU to make it by, and now he's building ADUs for other people to help him build up. Follow him. All of his stuff's going to be in the comments below. I'm sorry to our viewers that we're waiting for a construction update this week. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of issues that we've been facing. Next week's video, you guys will see all that. Follow Neo Builders. Follow SCFSU. I'm Sam, and we'll see you next week.